Zach, what did you obviously had the week of, or the two joint practices against the Packers, now you've had two against the Eagles. What did you get out of this one that maybe you didn't necessarily get out of the Green Bay one?
Yeah, I think it's just more looks, more defensive looks, new disguises, new players, new coaching techniques, all that different thing is, their philosophy is always just going to be different. I think it's good for me just to see, all the different looks and kind of comparing to what Green Bay was throwing at us and now. And, even from a D-line standpoint, these guys are taught to get up off the ball and, get after the quarterback, and they got some great players up there. So just all around, it's good for us as a team just to have to adjust to what's going on.
Zach, you know obviously how important every rep as a rookie has been for you. What did Elijah Vera Tucker do while he was out to stay engaged? Did you help him at all going over stuff you were seeing in practice so he doesn't miss a step?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going over everything. They got all their run game rules. I'm not trying to teach him his run game rules. Maybe I'll teach him about some pass concepts, but he knows what's going on, and that's why he's a good player, physically gifted. He's able to miss time and heal up, and he's going to be just fine getting back in there. And he'll adjust quickly to getting back, but I'm sure he's just made sure he's watching and he's taking those mental reps. I think that's important as a player that can't be there, is kind of put yourself in those shoes of someone that is, and how can you just pretend like you're in the game.
Zach, how do you believe you've changed as a quarterback from your first couple days of training camp to where you are now?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything specific, but it's really just adjusting to the game, understanding when to take risk and when not, and understanding how to eliminate negative plays. I think that's the biggest thing as a quarterback, is how can I eliminate negative plays and keep us in a positive situation to be able to just keep converting on those third downs. They're tough in the NFL, and so it's like how easy of a third down can I give us as a team, and I feel like I've gotten better at that standpoint, and then just getting on the same page as our receivers, and understanding the kind of routes those guys run.
Are you still taking those risks?
Oh, of course. I mean, there's always going to be risk, but it's understanding when to take the risk, right? Turning the ball over is never a good thing, but if you have 0 turnovers and you also have 0 explosive plays, you're not winning games either. So you got to have that balance as a quarterback of, when it's okay to push the ball down the field, and understanding, hey, this is 3rd and long and they're not giving us anything. Just throw a check down and live to play the next down, and let's play the field position. And that's what we're learning out here. That's what practice is for us, to pick up on all those things.
There's been some practices where the offensive line has struggled a little bit, and then Robert Saleh alluded that if everybody's on the same page, that can help alleviate some of that pressure. So, from a quarterback perspective, what can you do to help the offensive line sometimes when they're having a little bit of difficulties?
Yeah, just keep encouraging those guys. I think also just mixing up the cadence is something I can do. Rodgers is obviously the best at that, and I tried to throw a little bit in there today. We got a couple offsides on them, and I think it just, you don't let those D linemen tee off. You keep them on their toes, and then it helps our O-line be able to fire off and understand the count and be able to slow those guys down. And then once we get into a real game situation, we'll have different situation scenarios we throw at them, whether it's screens or quick passes, play actions, draws, all the different things that are going to slow a D-line down. And then just the tempo of a game. It gets tiring out there. It's hard to pass rush every single play, but when we're in some of these situations and every single play, they know it's a passing situation. They're like, hey, every play is 3rd down right here, and they're throwing the ball. Let's tee off and let's get to the quarterback. And then 5 plays later, they sub in a new D-line. So it's tough on our O-line when they are fresh legs and they know exactly what's coming at them. So it'll help them out in a real game.
Mike, it's been down on the field with you the first couple of games, and it's obviously worked well. Is that something you'd like to keep going, just roll with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Of course, I would love Mike down there, but I don't think it would necessarily hurt me in any way for him to be up there. I think if he sees the field better from being up in the box, I mean, we have plenty of opportunity to still communicate while I'm down on the field, and Coach Rob Calabrese would come down, and our other quarterbacks coach, Matt Cavanaugh, and we're able to still talk and understand what's going on. We got the surfaces on the sideline. We can see what's going on and still communicate. So I think what's ever easiest for him is what we should do.
What teams have changed, have a variety of ways of going about playing quarterbacks this summer. Some teams don't play quarterbacks at all. Other teams do. How beneficial has playing in these preseason games been for you?
Yeah, it's huge. I think it's honestly probably good for everyone, no matter how long you've played, to an extent. Obviously you don't want guys getting injured, but for a quarterback, especially me, normally in college, when I'm a freshman and you're seeing your defense every single day, and then you get to your first game in September, and it's it's brand new team, and the speed's different, and everything's thrown at you at once. I feel like you're able to kind of ease into it. We play against our defense, you get used to that, and then you have some joint practices, and it's just practice. You get used to that, and then you have some preseason games against different opponents, and so it's like it's slowly preparing you for what it's going to be like in a real game, and I think that's why it's so beneficial. Is it's just kind of getting you ready, and it shakes off all those nerves. You don't feel nervous to go out there and play.
Zach, what about them giving confidence early on that you would be the week one guy, kind of clearing that deck for you, and other quarterbacks are still sort of doubting for that? How did that help?
Yeah, I'd say I would say it helped as far as just I can learn and I can just keep growing and getting better. But I would say to an extent, like I can't have the mindset of I'm the guy, so I can be complacent and kind of what's going on. And so I have to have that mindset. It's I have to keep competing, and I got to earn my job no matter who's there. The coaches, they want to win, and I get they drafted me in the top 5, and that's what they took me for. But if I'm not playing well, then they're not gonna say I'm the starter. And so it's like I got to go out there with the same approach every day of how can I just keep bettering myself, not comparing myself to other people, but how can I just keep getting better and not feel complacent that I'm the guy.
What's the conversation been about you playing in the final preseason game, and do you want to be out there?
Oh, of course. I've thought that the last couple games is I wish I could play the whole game. You don't want to get injured or anything before the season and, put yourself in a bad spot. And obviously I'm not worried about that, but you know how it is just with injuries across the board. But, I wish I could play more just because, the experiences, the learning, just the tempo of the game, the operation, everything is just so good for us to see and to feel and just getting used to. You just get more comfortable as you keep playing.
You lobby coach for that?
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it.
Zach, as this preseason has gone along, have you sensed and have you felt the coaches trusting you more and more in different steps along the way?
Yeah, for sure. They understand it's a process, and they understand that, I'm not making the same mistakes twice, and that, if I am, it's something I need to definitely make sure I figure out. But we go in the film room every day, and every single day it's a new learning point. It's like, hey, they gave us this on defense. This is where now we can try and attack here, and here's where you could have maybe been a little bit better, and how quickly you can get off of things. And I think they have that trust in me that I'm gonna have to be careful with the ball, but I'll understand that I'm gonna take a risk and make some plays, and I'll go off schedule. And in those real game situations is and we'll be able to do some things.
That's what they love about you.
Yeah, for sure.
You alluded to play action being able to reduce some of the pass rush, and obviously on film that looks apparent. But from your perspective, what about the play action game allows that helps slow down the pass rush?
Yeah, everything from a defensive standpoint is all about playing your gaps. When we're a wide zone to our right and our whole O-line's running and the backside end's filling his gap and he's squeezing and the backers have to fill to the front side and all of a sudden the quarterback keeps it and he comes around, those guys are now hesitating because they're like, well, what if the quarterback keeps it next time, or what if he gives it, and then we got to fill our gaps. It just keeps everyone a little bit softer. And then sometimes when we watch film, we're like, hey, look how aggressive they are. Let's throw this at them. I think it's just it's that chess game you play with everyone, and it goes all the way across the board with play action pass as well. It's just they give us one thing and we counter it, and then we go back and we just keep throwing new things at them. And I think in a real game, it just keeps giving a defensive line different things to look at.
You mentioned this notion of not taking the job for granted and earning your job. Do you feel like that's something that you learned throughout high school and BYU, like just kind of developing that kind of attitude?
Yeah, I just think competition always brings out the best in everybody. I think when you can kind of flip that switch and be able to say, I'm going to give everything I can to make sure I do this right. If you got no one breathing down your neck that you got, your job on the line, then it gets tough, right? And a lot of guys are, willing just to feel okay with it's my job, I can make mistakes, and you feel all right. But it's, you got to understand that if you don't do well, they're gonna replace you. So.
You have, it's been pretty obvious for a few months that you're going to be the week one starter, although Robert hasn't formally said anything. Do you need to hear that, or does that even matter? Or
it doesn't even matter. It's just like what you said. It doesn't even matter. I'm just doing what I can do every single day. How can I come out here, just keep getting better, just keep helping this team get better, just keep executing. How can I just keep learning from the mistakes I made the day before?
What kind of goes through your mind after practice or at night? Do you go through some of those mistakes in your mind?
Yeah, 100%. So we go in our film room, we'll go over them there, we'll address them with the coaches, we'll go over the looks they gave us, what things I should have done better, what I could have done different, and then we'll install for the next day. How can we throw some new things at this defense? What am I looking at? What are my reads? How can I picture every single defense they're going to throw at me, and then what's my process to go through them all, and then how quickly can I do that? And so, every single day it's the same kind of process of just making sure we get through them all.
You seem like you're pretty critical of yourself. You're your harshest critic. Is there anything that stands out to you that you want to do better entering into the week one?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything one specific thing. You know, I think my job as a quarterback is how can we, you know, eliminate not getting those third and shorts, and you know, maybe necessarily it's not a play that I was, you know, I'm not running the ball or I'm not blocking or anything, but it's, you know, as a quarterback, how can I just keep putting us in those third and short situations? You know, and you take a sack on second down and it's now third down and 16. You know, I just put our team in a really bad situation, and so how can I just keep eliminating when things aren't open, the pocket breaks down? How do I get rid of it? How do I get out? How do I throw the ball away? How do I make a play without making a negative play? And that's what I'm just, you know, keep learning and getting better at.
Did you get a chance to talk Did you get a chance to talk to Joe Flacco? And if so, did he have any good advice that you imparted?
Yeah, we just talked for a second. I just went up to him and said what's up and just kind of introduced myself. And he's a cool guy. You know, he obviously knows a bunch of guys over here because he's been here. And, you know, really I just wanted to introduce myself to him and just say what's up.